Hmm. Big smile. Okay. So my plan is to absolutely just clean today. Yeah, it's gonna help. And as soon as I woke up, I'm just getting bombarded with that crap again. I've laughed it off for a week. Hasn't happened. Everything's been fine. Now all of a sudden I'm in my head making shit up again, and I'm laughing at it again really quick because it's really stupid. It really doesn't belong. So where's that stuff coming from? And I felt it before I even left. Before I even started interacting with people. I, yeah, buddy. Talk to me, man. I have said that our consciousness shifts through timelines to create space and time, and other things. I'm quite sure. Um, you keep the. You let me know if you want to go out. I'll let you out. Um, each timeline is whole, meaning when you shift through that timeline, each time you shift, everything makes sense. It's infinite. It's quantum. I don't even know where the camera is. Um, so that timeline, each timeline makes perfect sense. Kit Kat always has a dash in this timeline, and the one right next to it also has a dash, and the one right next to that has a dash. But other things might be slightly different. But each timeline is the same, and that's how we're probably used to going through our lives within that specific timeline that makes sense. And what seems to be happening now is we're jumping around. And I say now, we were probably always doing it and just blowing it off as remembering or taking the download that people talk about, that you just catch it. I don't think it's that ringing in the ear, he wants to go out. I told him, tell me. Go ahead, boy. I'll leave it open. Oh, wow, that sounded genius. Where was I? Great. Oh, no. I think I got it. Those timelines are specific. They're there. We're the ones going through them back and forth, seeing changes, noticing changes, and what we need to do is, we're already doing it because we're creating this physical reality. I'm done with speculation on some things. I'm done saying, well, this is the way I think it is, and I'm not sure, and I don't know. Yeah, there's terms I'm just going to start using. I think I'm going to stick with timelines. I was going to shift from. I didn't do that on purpose. I'm going to change from trying to say reality because I do like that. I still like it, and I'll probably still use the term. I just think timelines is more precise, and it makes more sense because we are the consciousness shifting through those timelines. Dimension. I'm not even sure where that comes in. I could easily stick it in there somewhere. Just a timeline that's not in the parameters that, we can't exist or whatever. I mean, that would be another dimension. Although I do feel that each of us are in our own dimension, so maybe that's where that goes. Our dominant consciousness is in the dimension, in its own dimension that shifts.
when I say we shift our consciousness to create time and space, that's happening billions and billions of times per second, just to make it seem like it's real and physical. It's happening so much that it's fluid, it's natural, it's what we do, you know? So that's how we experience this. So we can actually shift anywhere. It doesn't have to be the right next adjacent timeline. It doesn't have to be right there. We can just flow right in, you know, whatever. There are some things I just see and know. It's just the way I feel about it is it's happening so much and so often. It's natural, and if it wasn't, it is natural to us now, or at least it should be. We should be able to just shift wherever we want. Completely know that. You can shift and shift wherever you want, and I'm even saying back in time. Because we're creating the illusion of time by shifting every billionth of a second through the next adjacent timeline. That's how we create that time. You know, it's funny because I read a few comments down one video where people were talking about time and how it's an illusion and it's not real, it is real, and they're going back and forth giving scientific evidence and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, now I don't know what is driving the force through these timelines every billionth of a second. Take control of it. We're already doing it because we're programmed to do certain things and do, you know, get into that comfort zone and you know, do the same thing over and over and over again. So we're already creating it. We don't even know it. Now we know it. What you got to do is consciously go, okay, hold on a second. I'm going to stop getting upset every time I have to pay a bill. And, you know, I'm thinking back for me, this happened to me in like the 90s, mid 90s, maybe early 90s. I'm going to stop getting upset about every time I want to pay a bill. And I'm going to get excited that I'm paying for something that I received. And now it doesn't necessarily have to be money, but in this case it is because it's the electric bill. So I am excited to write that check. I am excited to write that car payment. Boom. Before you know it, you'll be in a situation where you're not going to have to sit around and worry about money because money is such a thing. Okay, it is a thing. It's a tool. It's a tool, and I'd say use it wisely. But it's a tool. It's not something it's not your God. You don't have to have it. Why did I get on a subject of money? Goodbye. This is nuts.
I really think we are going in the right direction. Show me this label here. This is 1903.
Yeah.
And it's always said 1903. Is that right?
No, it used to say 1855.
Really?
You've already interviewed me.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just getting a better copy. See how that works? Hey, what island is the Statue of Liberty on?
Ellis Island.
Ellis Island. Ellis Island. Yeah, it's actually Liberty Island.
Liberty Island.
Everybody remembers Ellis Island.
Yeah. Rename it?
No, there's Liberty Island, Ellis Island, Governor's Island. There's a bunch out there now.
So, what if there was something that happened in your past that you didn't like? And now you're in another timeline where that didn't really happen because you actually have memories of something else that's happened to me. So I might not be talking to you. But if you wanted to change something in your past, be where you are and think about that circumstance and change the outcome. Believe it, know it, and you'll shift yourself into a timeline where your past was different. I don't know. This is starting to it just seems easier and natural and funny that we don't know it. It's almost hysterical. I don't know. And I don't understand why. This is like epiphanies that I'm getting. Will they stay with me? I don't know. I don't want to go to sleep. Something's telling me when I go to sleep, I wake up and I'm just going to start the routine over again. And I'm not going to lose this, especially since it's being taped. But I need to sustain it. Yeah, so I see where this is for me from my perspective. And that was some of the messages that I felt that were coming in with all the S's dropping off and apostrophe S's showing up. But I also thought to look at those products, conversations I've had with Guy Fawkes, just, it's not just what it's saying, and that's basically what I was going by. Oh my God, it's a change. Well, check out the product, see what it says. Look into it more. And that's what I'm doing now. Exactly 40 degrees here in Leadville, Colorado. Are you kidding me? It's July 30th. It's 40 degrees. My cat wants me to leave the door open. It's killing me. I can't believe I'm even doing this. With the Fantasy Football League, let me know what you think if you're interested. $20 into PayPal. 16 teams. 8 teams make the playoffs, get their money back. After that, the money gets spread out. We'll have the draft right before the beginning of the season. It'll be an online draft. I'll figure out the site. If the response is big, I'll consider it. I would definitely consider getting in someone else's league and not really bothering. Is that why I keep thinking I came on here to say no, I'm not going to do it. In my last video, which I'm looking at now, the one guy talked about the Miller High Life Mandela effect. He's drank that from that bottle forever. Okay, that bottle, the 1855 is on the Miller. That's when Miller was established. But according to him, it was on the Miller High Life bottle as 1855, and now it says 1903. So, I'm sure that could be explained away, but for him, it's a Mandela effect. I promise I'll take care of it now, buddy. Yes, I will. I just really needed to quickly say, really feel like, how should I turn this? Yeah, I'm going to feed you right now, I promise. Let me pause. Alright, any of us who have seen Mandela effects and other phenomena, look, you know what? I think we're already kind of there, Alright, we're already kind of in that space. And I think a lot of things are going to be going on. We have momentum of feeling these things, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. Alien invasion, and, China's taking over and all that stuff. We're probably going to see a lot of that stuff. I don't think we have to interact with it. I don't think it's going to affect us unless we let it. That's up to you. But I think we're smart enough to know not to let that affect us. And I can tell you right now, I'm learning constantly. Today started out like really drab, negative thoughts coming in, and I snapped them right out. So that's fine. That doesn't even bother me. But I worked it all the way up throughout the whole day, and had a very busy night, and I had, dressing up in the whole bit, and it's beautiful. I mean, that's what it ended up. I mean, everything is great and beautiful, and that's the way it ended up, and that's the way it is. I gotta get us in another video with my new outfit here. It's a video.
Oh,
you can,
okay.
You can talk.
Oh, okay.
Always think everybody just takes your picture. Is that what it is?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Try and make this brief. I got all kinds of other junk to put up. Put the message here right up front. I mean, if you watch my videos, usually the message is either spread out or at the end. I'm just putting this right up front. I've come across a YouTube channel who says she's a channel, and I don't personally like the word, but everything she has said was like my language. It was my terminology, and it was making perfect sense. It's about an hour and I think it's an hour and 45 minutes long. I'll leave the link down below. She does say that the people who noticed the Mandela effect have noticed the timelines shifting. According to her, the lower vibrational timelines are disintegrating, leaving. So a lot of people feel like they're not in the world they should be, and they want to leave. And I believe she said, stop wanting to leave. And I felt that way too, but I didn't have a reason to back it up. I was like, I don't understand that. But stop wanting to leave because you're creating lack. You're going to get stuck. Focus on the present moment. Try not to. Like I said, she speaks my language. She's like, be careful of your thoughts. Don't create something by default. And I love that term because that's what I've been doing by learning how to do this. I'm trying. She also says that a lot of now I know these are words that I haven't used. I don't think on my channel. Light workers, way showers, star seeds. She said all those people, which I would think most of the Mandela affected people are, if not all. Like it was mentioned in my book that we probably have to eventually help out because people aren't going to know what's going on. According to her, the bigger equations are coming up within the next couple of weeks for those people, and then in September, October, it'll be for the masses. And there's going to be some major changes. Everything's coming out. To me, there was, I was like, no, this is information, because I'm like, oh no, don't fearmonger. No, and she really wasn't. She was just saying there's going to be some earth changes. She started talking about how the body has already been changing. It's raising its vibration to meet the Earth's vibration, because the Earth's vibration is already in 4D, and so are we, she said. She was saying, you're already there. If you're listening to this channel, you're probably already there, and you're still tethered to three-dimensional reality, so you're going to still see things around you, and we're going to notice these things. But how much they're going to affect us, she didn't seem to think that much. I'm hoping you give it a listen. It's like I said, it's the terms I use. That's why I resonated with it so much. But she says things are right here, right on the doorstep. I mean, we've all been saying that. You know, I felt like something's coming in my last two videos. I'm like, something's here, or whatever. Am I ready? So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna keep that short. And that's another thing. Should I try and talk over Scarab here? That's not gonna work. All right. I wanted to talk about how, and it's not even a talk. You'd be lucky if this is 35 seconds long. You know, I was upset. Upset's not the right word, but feeling like, hey, we're only reaching each other. We're all talking to each other about the effects and the different things we're doing. We're just talking to each other. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing. 42 seconds. So, no, in the Fantasy Football League, I'm not even getting in a league. And it's just, I can't understand why it was being pulled towards that. I do now. Because one of the other things she said in this, Ashley, or Ash, that you're going to be seeing mirror images of you. The things going on around you are going to be complete straight mirror images of you, and it's going to be happening in quick succession. And they're just tests. Get through them. Get through them. Keep the vibration high. Because this is the only time we really got to stick with it to move to the next level. According to what she's saying. And I tend to agree with a lot of what she's saying. There's absolutely nothing to fear with this Mandela effect. If you're just getting into it now, you're getting it all in one shot, really. And there's an eclipse coming up again. New moon eclipse. I think that's I think it's the 11th, and I think that's a big day. I'm going to have to get all these dates together because the 8th is a big day for me. That's the 3-year anniversary of the stars showing themselves to me, or the stars revealing themselves to me, or whatever it was. So I'm looking forward to that. That's 2 days away.
Oh my God, look at this.
With all the stuff going on YouTube, the censorship, the truther community, flat Earth and Mandela effect people, all their videos getting messed with and taken down, putting back up, and all this. Now I'm hearing Alex Jones's channel has been banned or terminated or something. I don't know. I'm not really going to look into that much. I didn't listen to the guy anyway. Did back in the day, but so I'm not sure what that's all about. But I'm thinking we're probably getting slowly taken off, so we can't communicate. It doesn't matter. We already know. And if it's true that we only got a few weeks before bigger things happen, they've already lost control. According to this woman Ash, the evil's leaving. It's now, to me, we're just shifting away from it. That's what that is to me. But like I said, she still uses the same terminology. Here's a little excerpt.
One's go on the right.
What's happened to 206?
One's go on the right. 20's go on the left.
Yes.
Okay, but that's not how we've done it here. We've never done it here that way.
Fucking old wackadoodle. I don't know how else to say it.
The money's backwards in the register because we shifted.
All right. We'll take off the vote.
We have the ones all the way on the left, and it's always been that way. And I've always known that was wrong because
ones go on the right and 20s go on the left, or hundredths or whatever. So it's backwards in this timeline, or whatever. What about you? What do you think? 20s on the right or 20s on the left? How's the bank supposed to look?
Well, how you do it is on the left.
The 20s are on, right. Well, that's not, well, that's how I do it, but that's not how everybody else does
How I
it.
do it is on the right.
Right, okay. All right, all right.
I hope you take a look at, sure, what, I'm going to give you her name. Aluna Ash Clairvoyant 9D. Seems very down to earth, believe it or not, and she speaks the same language that I'm used to. And I'm going to throw up these things. I started to do a list, like a series thing on how to shift and the different ways to shift and the different ways that people have said you could shift and all this. And I was going to go into this big thing, but I'm not. I've already done 3 of them. And those 3 were actually going to end. I was going to change those, but I got them. They're only a couple minutes each. You probably know about this stuff anyway, but I'll pop it up.
How to shift timelines. How to quantum shift. How to change your reality. That's probably the best way to put it. I've been trying to get away from the word timeline. You know, when I first started doing this, I was calling it dimension. And yeah, we can shift into another dimension. I don't really think that's accurate, but that's what I was saying. I got to YouTube, and everybody was calling it timelines. So I changed my vocabulary to timelines, and I've heard reality a few times, and I just think it fits because we don't know, and reality kind of encompasses most, if not all. So I've been thinking about different ways I feel I've done it, and I thought I'd pass that along. Some of the stuff I probably talk about all the time. You know, focus and know. And I think that's the biggest part right there, because once you know, it's instant. You know, for me, I believe that's how I feel. You know a thing and it shall be. I think it's the knowing. And that's the one I've probably used the most, I'd say. Because that's, you know, what I learned through the experiences that I had. Wrong street. So, from the experiences, that's what I felt. And it really, you know, didn't come down to a formula like I talked about. It really came down to a knowing.
This is my Boom Days hat. Boom Day. Anyway, this is going to be one of the ways to shift. I did this in Mississippi. And I did it quite often. And I'm not only do I want to do it now, I'm kind of excited. I'm thinking about, hey, you know, I'm going to do this. I went to the bathroom. You're supposed to do it between midnight and 3 a.m. Not sure what the times have to do with anything. I went with it. So it was a little after midnight. I went into the bathroom, and between a mirror and myself, I had a candle, put the lights out. It's just me, the candle, and a mirror. And I'm just staring at the mirror. And that's what you're supposed to do. And you know, for a little bit, I'm like, all right, this is silly. But I kind of got in a trance state. And I'm staring at myself. And I believe I explained this in another video. Oh, it's getting cold. Prince, in or out? So I got the mirror, the candle, me, and I'm staring, and I'm kind of getting in a trance state. And but I'm kind of, you know, I'm seriously into this. I did this after I noticed, hey, my tattoo switched arms. It changed dates by a day. All this stuff's going on, and I'm like, oh wow, this Mandela effect stuff is nuts. And I go, let me go check my scar because, you know, doc, it's my left arm and it's under my elbow. I don't care. This is one of the stories in the book. Just go ahead and do your experimental stitch. He was like kind of worried. I'm like, I don't care. If you're going to screw up the bottom of my left elbow, I'm right-handed. Do what you got to do. So, you know, you're going to have this little ugly C mark under there, but, you know, that'll be better than the alternative. And I'm like, okay, fine. Do it. So he does it. It's my left arm. Doc, so I'm checking it out. I'm like, all right. I'm in Mississippi. I'm like, wow, check it out. It healed. That's amazing. Awesome. And I look over here, and there it is. It's the ugly C mark. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah, I don't think you're going to see that on there. Maybe. It shifted to my right arm. What? That was bizarre. All right. So after this experience, yeah. Well, what? You wanted to go out? You're gonna bug me in 10 seconds, aren't you? After the exchange from the scar, or the scar moving elbows or switching sides, you know, I figure, you know, what do I got to lose at this point? I mean, I've gone through the orbs, the stars, the impalement, and I moved to Mississippi, and not to get away from it. I remember seriously contemplating staying. I even spoke with a psychic who said, well, if that's your choice, you know, it doesn't have to be. I almost felt like she was trying to talk me out of it. But if you have to go through that, you go through that. I mean, now looking back, I know what I had to do. I didn't have to do it. You know, it was like I just said goodbye to some friends of mine who basically their dominant consciousnesses are far off. And that doesn't mean I still won't see them. It's just not really them. It's who they would be had they stayed in this timeline. Or had they stayed in that timeline that I'm in, that I'm shifting through anyway. This makes so much more sense to me now. What? What was this about? So I got the candle, the mirror. I'm looking in the mirror. And all of a sudden, my face starts to change shape in the mirror. And I decide to just stay, and I'm glaring, and I see nothing but this face. And all of a sudden, it starts changing. It's just constantly changing shapes. I saw females, males, different colors. I mean, I'm in a black room with a candle there, so, you know, it could have been anything. But that's what I was perceiving. Then all of a sudden, and this is where, you know, I kind of snapped out of that trance state. Like, my face went from here. Let me do this right. My face went from here to here to here to here to here, and I was just blown away by it. Why? After the stuff I've been through, but at the same time, I was just like, keep going. I wasn't going to have it stop. I was just keep shifting. You know, I was in a good place at the time. I knew I wanted out of Mississippi at the time for sure. And that did happen. You know, it was, you know, I was, one of the things I made sure I did was I had myself in a really good place before I went ahead and did that. You don't want to do that when you're in a bad place. Just a thought, just a theory, a hypothesis, I'll say. It's not a theory, it's a hypothesis. You want to, you know, have your head on straight. Who's got their head on straight? You want to be in good spirits, good mood, pop that candle in front of that mirror and go for it. I say go for it. I've been thinking about doing these little clips of different ways that I've heard the shift or read about, and experimented on myself. So, and I've been thinking about this, and every time I think about this one, I'm like, I need to do that again. I need to just go ahead and say, hey, you know what? It's just, it is whatever it is I want it to be, and do it. One of the other ways I've come across that you can actually shift your consciousness into another timeline is bite your lip and forgive. Okay, forgive somebody just, over the worst thing, just something there's just no way you're going to do. I mean, that'd be a big way to do it. I want to put this in a category because I feel like there's a bunch of other things that would go along with that. Like ways to change your emotion, ways to change your energy. Along with the forgiveness one, being grateful, I think would go a long way. Alright, since I did this anyway, and I was going to clean this whole thing up because I like this way, but I have not tried it. What you do is you get 2 glasses, fill one with water, enough that you'll be able to drink. 2 pieces of paper. On the 1 piece of paper, you put everything you don't like or want to change. And on the other piece of paper, it's how you want it. And you put the things that you want on the empty glass and the things that you have that you don't want on the full glass. And you pour the water into the other glass and drink it. That's simple. I've actually read things people say it works. It depends on how strong a belief you have, how long it's going to take effect, but I don't think it's going to take much at all at this point. I really don't. And what I didn't add was like intentionally shifting your time. I totally think it's absolutely possible. I don't think it needs to be a formula. I don't think it needs to have to be any of the things that I just mentioned. I think you can just do it. But it seems that we're going to be finding that out soon anyway, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, whatever. Have a good one.